Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru. Our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpataruvyaschа kripa sindhu vyaevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so before we could proceed with today's chapter from the Krishna book, as I already mentioned in the WhatsApp group, we will be starting with the diagnostic test based on the homework that I had given you in the previous week. So I'm sharing the link here in the chat. There you have. Your time starts now. Okay, so now that our exam is done, I welcome you all to our weekly Krishna book classes. Let's see, we have with us here Aja, Archana Sharma, Deepa Vijay Kumar, Devina, Dipti Adnani, Divya, Durga Prasad, Hari Kumar Ishwaran, Jay Radhe Tela, Kamala Nandini Mataji, then we have Anjali Karnani, Karuna, Lavina Ramchandani, Manju Nihalani, then we have Makeshwari Mataji, we have Meenakshi, N.C. Venkatchari, we have Auntie Neeta, Nisha Dadlani, Priyanka Jha, then we have Radhe, my husband is there, my parents are there, we have Ranjit Das, Ritu Lalwani, Romi, Shailesh Latkar, we have Shantaram and Sheetal Latkar, then we have Shivani, Shri Radhe Hari Devi Dasi, we have Swami, Swapna Latkar, Upasna Dalai, Vivansh and Wendy. Okay. So, what did we see in the previous class?
About Kalia.
Kalia is that demon who was not
Killed, basically.
killed, no, neither by Krishna nor by Balaram. So there is one part of that story which was unanswered, which we said we will see in the next chapter. What was that? Which thread
Basically,
is not yet
basically
tied up?
why the Nagapatnis had their doubt that why Krishna's lotus feet was touching Kalia. Basically, that was the, I think, the homework. I think
Okay,
the reasoning.
okay. But there was something that we still don't know about Kalia, and why did Kalia take shelter of that lake in the river Yamuna?
Uh,
He
I
was scared of Garuda.
Garuda.
He was
Yes.
scared of Garuda. Now, why is he scared of Garuda? What is this backstory between Garuda and Kalia? That we will be seeing in today's chapter.
Okay.
Okay. So, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, today we are on the on chapter number 17 of the Krishna book. This chapter is titled Extinguishing the Forest Fire. So, let's see. King Parikshit, after hearing of the chastisement of Kalia, inquired from Sukadeva Goswami as to why Kalia left his beautiful land and why Garuda was so antagonistic to him. Sukadeva Goswami informed the king that the island known as Nagalaya was inhabited by serpents and that Kalia was one of the chief serpents there. Being accustomed to eating snakes, Garuda used to come to this island and kill many serpents at will. Some of them he actually ate, and some of them were unnecessarily killed. The reptile society became so disturbed that their leader, Vasuki, appealed to Lord Brahma for protection. Lord Brahma made an arrangement by which Garuda would not create a disturbance. On each half moon day, the reptile community would offer a serpent to Garuda. The serpent was to be kept underneath a tree as a sacrificial offering to Garuda. Garuda was satisfied with this offering and therefore he did not disturb any other serpents. So there is a truce, no? There is an agreement that they have come, they have agreed upon certain conditions. And who has made that condition? Who has made this arrangement? Is none other than Lord Brahma himself, no? Such a high elevated authority, Lord Brahma himself has created this arrangement by which the Garuda would be offered some food, and therefore in return he would not disturb the other serpents. So this truce was reached by the two parties. But gradually, Kalia took advantage of the situation. He was unnecessarily puffed up by the volume of his accumulated poison as well as by his material power, and he thought, why should Garuda be offered this sacrifice? He then ceased offering any sacrifice. Instead, he himself ate the offering intended for Garuda. When Garuda, the great devotee carrier of Vishnu, understood that Kalia was eating the offered sacrifices, he became very angry and rushed to the island to kill the offensive serpent. Kalia tried to fight Garuda and faced him with his many hoods and poisonous sharp teeth. Kalia attempted to bite him, and Garuda, the son of Tarksha, in great anger and with the great force befitting the carrier of Lord Vishnu, struck the body of Kalia with his effulgent golden wings. Kalia, who is also known as Kadru Sutta, son of Kadru, immediately fled to the lake known as Kalya Hrida, which lay within the Yamuna river and which Garuda could not approach. So, see, after this conflict between Garuda and Kalia, now Kalia has gone in that particular lake known as Kalya Hrida, and he is hiding there within the waters of the river Yamuna. Kalia took shelter within the water of the Yamuna for the following reason. Just as Garuda went to the island of the Kalya snake, he also used to go to the Yamuna to catch fish to eat. There was, however, a great yogi known as Saubhari Muni who used to meditate within the water there and who was sympathetic with the fish. He asked Garuda not to come there and disturb the fish. Although Garuda was not under anyone's order, being the carrier of Lord Vishnu, he did not disobey the order of the great yogi. Instead of staying and eating many fish, he carried off one big fish, who was their leader. Saubhari Muni was sorry that one of the leaders of the fish was taken away by Garuda, and thinking of their protection, he cursed Garuda with the following words. Henceforward, from this day, if Garuda comes here to catch fish, then, I say this with all my strength, he will be immediately killed. So why is it that Garuda was not able to go to the go to the waters of the river Yamuna is because of this curse by Saubhari Muni. Saubhari Muni was meditating inside the waters. So of course, very great accomplished yogi, because an ordinary person cannot stay within the water for beyond a few minutes, no. But he was meditating for several years underneath the water. So very elevated yogi, and he cursed Garuda. Hmm. And see, it's described here that Garuda was not under anyone's order, but still he did not disobey the order of the great yogi. So, Garuda, being the personal servant of Lord Vishnu himself, no, he was very much capable of disobeying what Saubhari Muni said, but out of respect for the Muni, for the sage, he accepted his orders. Yeah, first I saw Harikumar raise his hand.
No, I
Harikumar, do you
think it
still
got
have a
clear.
question?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, Shailesh.
Is Garuda an expansion of Vishnu of Krishna, or is he a servant?
He's a
That's what I
servant.
wanted to know.
He's a servant. He's a personal servant. He's the carrier of Lord Vishnu.
Unlike Ananta Sheshnag, who's a expansion.
Correct.
Expansion.
Correct. See, now somebody may say that why is Garuda eating fish and we are supposed to be vegetarians, or we are supposed to eat only prasad, and how come Garuda can eat fish and we are not allowed to eat fish? So and somebody may say that, oh, what Saubhari Muni did was very appropriate, because he wants to protect the fish in the water. So what is wrong with what Saubhari Muni did? So see, this is the reason why we should always learn from our acharyas. I'm reading from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the nature of birds to eat fish, And thus, by the arrangement of the Lord, the great bird Garuda does not commit any offense by nourishing himself with fish. On the other hand, Saubhari Muni's forbidding a much greater personality to eat his normal food did constitute an offense. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Saubhari committed two offenses. First, he dared to give an order to a supremely exalted soul like Garuda. And second, he obstructed Garuda from satisfying his desire. So these are two offenses that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Saubhari Muni has committed. First of all, he is giving an order to an extremely exalted personality like Garuda because he is the personal servant of Lord Vishnu. If he was doing something wrong, then he wouldn't be able to do that service. No, the very fact that he is engaged in that service, the Lord is accepting that service, means that he is highly elevated personality and that he is doing nothing wrong. So it's not sinful. And secondly, he obstructed Garuda from satisfying his desire. So these are the two offenses that Saubhari Muni did. Now, again, let's see one more offense, which Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary. He says, this verse describes the third offense to Garuda. Though showing compassion toward the fish, Saubhari displayed anger toward Garuda. Saubhari's attempt to help the fish had the opposite effect because Kalia moved there and thus spelled doom for all the lake's residents. This verse illustrates that when one's so-called compassion does not tally with the order of the Supreme, it merely creates chaos. So there are, see, on one side, Saubhari Muni is showing compassion to the fish, but on the other side, he is showing anger toward Garuda. Whereas Garuda is the personal servant of Lord Vishnu. And on the other side, actually, Saubhari Muni wants to help the fish in the lake. But what has happened because of his curse? Kalia has gone and taken shelter in that lake, and all the living entities in the lake and even on the banks, the trees, and all these animals who went and drank waters from that particular lake, they have all been affected by that poison of Kalia. No, so he's trying to protect on one side, but because of his activities, actually it has created chaos. No, it has spelled doom for the residents of the lake and even for the other living entities who are taking water from there. So this is the reason why one should always align one's desires, one's activities with the desires and activities of the Lord. When we try to do something independent of the Lord, then it will create only chaos. When we align our desires with the desires of the Lord, then we will be peaceful and then everything else will also be peaceful. So let's continue with our Krishna book. This curse was known only to Kalia. Kalia was therefore confident that Garuda would not be able to come there, and so he thought it wise to take shelter of the lake within the Yamuna. But Kalia's taking shelter of Saubhari Muni was not successful. He was driven away from the Yamuna by Kṛṣṇa, the master of Garuda. It may be noted that Garuda is directly related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is so powerful that he is never subject to anyone's order or curse. Actually, the cursing of Garuda, who is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam to be of the stature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan, was an offense on the part of Saubhari Muni. Although Garuda did not try to retaliate, the Muni was not saved from his offensive act against a great Vaishnava personality. Due to this offense, Saubhari fell down from his yogic position and afterward became a householder, a sense enjoyer in the material world. The fall down of Saubhari Muni, who was supposed to be absorbed in spiritual bliss by meditation, is an instruction to the offender of the Vaishnavas. So see, although Garuda did not retaliate, no, Garuda just tolerated Saubhari Muni's curse and Saubhari Muni's instruction and his anger at him. He just tolerated because that is the sign of a devotee. Tolerance is a sign of a devotee. He did not retaliate. But still, because Saubhari Muni had offended a devotee, had offended a Vaishnava, he had to bear the consequences of that act. So we have discussed in the past how there are two things. One is pap and one is aparad. One is sin and the other is offense. Now offense is a more serious crime. Offense is a more serious crime. And there are different kinds of offenses. There are different kinds of aparadas. There can be seva aparad, aparad to offenses to the services that we do. There can be Vaishnava aparad, there can be Guru aparad, no, offenses against the spiritual master. There can also be dham aparad, the offenses that we commit when we are residing in a holy place in a dham. So like that, there are different kinds of aparadhas. Now, what do we mean by aparadha? Apa means against, and Radha is the name of Srimati Radharani. We know that. And Srimati Radharani is the epitome of devotion. No, so nobody can worship Krishna better than Srimati Radharani. She is the topmost worshipper of Lord Sri Krishna. So, so she stands for devotion, bhakti. No, and aparadha means that which is against Srimati Radharani, or that which is against devotion. So when we commit offenses, when we commit aparadhas, then that takes us away from devotion, that takes us away from bhakti, that takes us away from Srimati Radharani. So of all the aparadhas that one can commit, the most serious aparadha is Vaishnava aparadha. Vaishnava aparadha. Because the Lord can tolerate an offense towards him, but he will not tolerate an offense towards his devotees. No. So therefore we should be very careful when we deal with devotees of the Lord. So here, what is the reaction that Saubhari Muni had to pay because of him committing this Vaishnava aparadha? He fell down from his yogic position. So he was meditating under the waters and he wanted to protect the fishes, right? But what happened was he got distracted just by seeing fish mating within the water of the river Yamuna. No, just by seeing fish mating, he got distracted. No, his senses became agitated, and then he wanted to live a married life, and then he came out of the waters, and then he married some 50, I think, yeah, 50 women he married, sisters, they were all sisters. And therefore, he fell down from his position and he became a sense enjoyer in the material world. You can read the story in detail in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Here, you go to your vedabase.io, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 6, title, The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. So this is your homework for the next class. Please read this particular chapter. Now, see, coming back to Vaishnava Aparad, see, the Chaitanya Charitamrita states, if the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. So, on one side, if we are engaging in bhakti, if we are engaging in devotional service, if we are watering the creeper of devotional service, no, it's like a plant, no. The plant initially is in the seed form, then the plant grows, and as we water it, as we take care of it, as we cultivate it, it grows bigger and bigger. So, like that, bhakti, the creeper of bhakti, if on one side we are cultivating the creeper of bhakti, and on the other side, we are committing an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava. We are committing Vaishnava aparad. Then that is compared to a mad elephant. What does a mad elephant do? A mad elephant just enters the field and destroys all the crops, all the plants and trees that are there. No, it simply destroys it. So like that, this Vaishnava aparad is like the mad elephant that will uproot the creeper. That creeper of bhakti, it will be uprooted and break it, and it will be completely destroyed. So like that, everything, all our devotional services, everything can be destroyed if we engage in Vaishnava aparad.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I ask you a question? I can't find my hand raised thing. So
Yes.
okay, my question is, you said there were 3 offenses. First you said there were 2 offenses, then you added a third one. So there are 3 offenses or 2 offenses?
3 offenses. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Then here from the Srimad Bhagavatam we read, anyone who fails to immediately leave the place where he hears criticism of the Supreme Lord or his faithful devotee will certainly fall down, bereft of his pious credit. So even to hear, no, even to hear Vaishnava aparadha is very, very dangerous. The Srimad Bhagavatam states that we should immediately leave the place when one hears criticism of the Lord or criticism of his faithful devotee. Or better still, you can defeat the person in argument. But if you cannot defeat the person in argument, because that requires some strong Shastric understanding, if you cannot do that, then you have to exit the place. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. When Krishna finally came out of Kaliya's lake, he was seen by all his friends and relatives on the bank of the Yamuna. He appeared before them, nicely decorated, smeared all over with chandana pulp, bedecked with valuable jewels and stones, and almost completely covered with gold. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cowherd boys and men, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Maharaj Nanda, and all the cows and calves, saw Krishna coming from the Yamuna, and it was as though they had recovered their very life. When a person regains his life, naturally he becomes absorbed in pleasure and joyfulness. They each in turn pressed Krishna to their chests, and thus they felt a great relief. Mother Yashoda, Rohini, Maharaj Nanda, and the cowherd men became so happy that as they embraced Krishna, they thought they had achieved their ultimate goal of life. So they are very, very happy to get Krishna back with them. Balaram also embraced Krishna, but he was laughing because when everyone else had been so overwhelmed with anxiety, he had known what would happen to Krishna. All the trees on the bank of the Yamuna, along with all the cows, bulls, and calves, were full of pleasure because of Krishna's appearance there. The Brahmana inhabitants of Vrindavan immediately came with their wives to congratulate Krishna and his family members. And because Brahmanas are considered to be the spiritual masters of the society, they offered their blessings to Krishna and his family on account of Krishna's release. They also asked Maharaj Nanda to give them some charity on that occasion. Being so pleased by Krishna's return, Maharaj Nanda gave many cows and much gold in charity to the Brahmanas. While Nanda Maharaj was thus engaged, Mother Yashoda simply embraced Krishna and made him sit on her lap while she shed tears continuously. So the Brahmanas are the spiritual masters of the society. They are the teachers of the society. So therefore they are teaching Maharaj Nanda that they should give some charity on that occasion of Krishna being released from the clutches of Kali. And they are not saying that because they are greedy, not that they want that money or the gold or the wealth, but because they are teaching Maharaj Nanda how he should behave in such a situation. No, it is for the benefit of Maharaj Nanda that they are saying that you must give away in charity on such an occasion. Since it was almost night and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cows and calves, were very tired, they decided to take their rest on the river bank. In the middle of the night, while they were taking rest, there was suddenly a great forest fire, and it quickly appeared that the fire would soon devour all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. As soon as they felt the warmth of the fire, they immediately took shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he was playing just like their child. They began to say, "Our dear Krishna, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, our dear Balaram, reservoir of all strength, please try to save us from this all-devouring and devastating fire. We have no shelter other than you. This devastating fire will swallow us all." Thus they prayed to Krishna, saying that they could not take any shelter other than his lotus feet. So, see, after this whole Kalia incident, they were all very, very tired, all the residents of Vrindavan. So, they decided to sleep there in on the banks of the river Yamuna. So, as they are sleeping there, suddenly they wake up and see that there is this great forest fire. So, the acharyas explained that probably this must have been the work of a well-wisher of Kalia, or must have been of somebody who is an associate of Kamsa. This is what the acharyas explain. So anyway, they go to sleep and then they wake up there and they see that there is this forest fire. So see, that is the nature of the material world. Now, one may think that everything is so fine, my life is going good, I have a good husband, I have a good wife, I have good children, I have my house, I have my wealth. What can go wrong? Nothing can go wrong. We are just cruising in our life. But no, the nature of material world is padam padam yat vipadam. At every step, there is danger. We don't know what can come up in the next moment. No? So therefore, we must always be prepared. We must always engage in devotional service. We must be always engage in bhakti, because we don't know what can come up in the very next moment itself. Just as how these residents, they are sleeping there, and suddenly they are in the middle of this terrible forest fire. Lord Krishna, being compassionate upon his own townspeople, immediately swallowed up the whole forest fire and saved them. This was not impossible for Krishna because he is unlimited. He has unlimited power to do anything he desires. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 17th chapter of Krishna, Extinguishing the Forest Fire. So what Krishna did, he immediately swallowed up the entire forest fire. So for them it was just one breath. With just one breath, he has completely swallowed that forest fire and he has saved the residents of Vrindavan. So what is the anartha that this forest fire represents? From the Krishna Samhita, which is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The formidable forest fire, the form of quarrel among Vaishnava Sampradayas, was swallowed by the Lord in order to protect the land of Vraja. So this forest fire actually represents the anartha of quarrel among Vaishnava Sampradayas. Let's read more. The 11th obstacle of the Vaishnavas is sectarianism, which takes the shape of the forest fire. Due to sectarianism, a person cannot accept anyone outside of his own group as a Vaishnava, and as a result, he faces many obstacles in finding a guru and associating with devotees. Therefore, extinguishing the forest fire is most important. Yeah, Lavina, you have your hand raised?
So that means there are how many types of Vaishnavas?
There are 4 bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas.
Four bona fide. Okay.
4. What are they? Rudra Sampradaya.
Okay.
Who knows the 4? Who can mention? Let's see. We have said this in our classes.
Brahma Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, Ramunaja Sampradaya, Gauli.
And
God
Kumar
Sampradaya.
Sampradaya.
So,
Kumar Sampradaya.
Kumar Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, then we have Lakshmi Sampradaya, and we have the Sampradaya of Lord Shiva, Rudra Sampradaya. No? These are the Brahma, Rudra, Lakshmi, and Kumar. These are the 4 Sampradayas. So, ISKCON belongs to the Brahma Sampradaya. But there are other 3 Sampradayas which are also bona fide. No? So, the Shastras explain that when you belong to any of these 4 Sampradayas, then you belong to a bona fide authorized Sampradaya that is sanctioned by the scriptures. So, one should learn to, one should not think, because every salesman will say that my product is the best. No, my
Yes.
product is the best. But we should, as we see here, where is that? So when there is quarrel amongst the Vaishnava Sampradayas, then that is like a forest fire. It burns everything down. It will create misunderstanding, it will create conflict, it will create splits, and it will burn everything down. So therefore, one must learn to respect other Sampradayas as well, other Vaishnava groups as well. Otherwise, one will face many obstacles in one's devotional life. See, Srila Prabhupada, he never, if you see, he never criticized Jesus Christ. He never criticized Prophet Muhammad. No, he always said that if you are a Christian, then you should be following the principles that are laid down by Jesus Christ. You follow the principles that are given in the Bible. No, there is one incident from Srila Prabhupada's lifetime. Srila Prabhupada says that he had arrived in a particular country, I don't remember which country, and they were seeing that they are all saintly people, no, because they are dressed like devotees. There was this person who approached Srila Prabhupada and said that I am so and so, and I'm a Christian, and I follow the principles of Christianity. So Srila Prabhupada said, Are you a vegetarian or do you eat meat? So he said, I eat meat. So Prabhupada said, then you're not a Christian. Why? Because the first of the 10 commandments of Christianity is thou shalt not kill. So when it says thou shalt not kill, and if you're eating meat, then you are not a Christian. So that was Prabhupada's preaching. No, he said that whatever you are, but if you are a Christian, you are a Christian if you follow the principles of Christianity, if you follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, if you follow what the Bible says. One cannot be proud and say that I am a proud Hindu or I'm a proud Christian or I'm a proud Muslim without following the principles of Hinduism, Christianity, or Islam. No. Without following the principles, if one is saying that I am so and so, so and so, so and so, Prabhupada said actually they are nothing but nonsense. You are only nonsense if you say that you are so and so, but you're not following the principles. So this forest fire represents the quarrel among Vaishnava Sampradayas. See, this is a very, very nice purport by Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I put it here, very relevant to what we are discussing. In the beginning, during the presence of Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, all the disciples worked in agreement. But just after his disappearance, they disagreed. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. No? And when, as long as he was physically present on the planet, all the disciples were working in agreement. Then what happened? But just after his disappearance, they disagreed. One party strictly followed the instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but another group created their own concoction about executing his desires. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at the time of his departure, requested all his disciples to form a governing body and conduct missionary activities cooperatively. He did not instruct a particular man to become the next Acharya. But just after his passing away, his leading secretaries made plans without authority to occupy the post of Acharya, and they split into two factions over who the next Acharya will be. Consequently, both factions were asara or useless because they had no authority, having disobeyed the order of the spiritual master. Despite the spiritual master's order to form a governing body and execute the missionary activities of the Gaudiya Math, the two unauthorized factions began litigation that is still going on after 40 years with no decision. Therefore, we do not belong to any faction. But because the two parties, busy dividing the material assets of the Gaudiya Math institution, stopped the preaching work, we took up the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur to preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world under the protection of all the predecessor acharyas, and we find that our humble attempt has been successful. We followed the principles especially explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, verse beginning Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kuru Nandana. According to this instruction of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is the duty of a disciple to follow strictly the orders of his spiritual master. The secret of success in advancement in spiritual life is the firm faith of the disciple in the orders of his spiritual master. So, see here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how after the disappearance, after the departure of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the disciples were not following the instructions of their guru. There were disagreements, and therefore there was a split, and there were factions, and the litigation case went on for so many years. So this is exactly what this anartha, that this forest fire is representing, the quarrel among Vaishnava Sampradayas that burns everything down, is exactly what happened after the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But of course, we know that Srila Prabhupada, he went to the West because he was given this instruction by his spiritual master to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, and because he stuck to the instructions of his spiritual master, because he followed strictly Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, therefore Krishna gave him so much success, so much success. See, Srila Prabhupada has always taught us that purity is the force. Purity is the force. If we can keep ourselves pure, then we can achieve a lot of things in our spiritual life. Srila Prabhupada, one pure devotee, created this spiritual revolution worldwide. Before Prabhupada went to the West, the Western world didn't even know what is vegetarianism. If you tell them that someone is a vegetarian, they'll think that you are crazy. No, you have lost it. So it was Srila Prabhupada who actually established these principles in the Western world, that now veganism has become a fad. No, but before Prabhupada went, there was nothing called vegetarianism in the Western world. No, there were no vegetarian restaurants. He was the one who introduced the first chain of vegetarian restaurants worldwide, actually. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Two things. What does Srila mean? And
Srila.
the second thing is,
Yeah.
and the second thing is, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the one who inspired Srila Prabhupada to go international.
Yes, exactly. So Srila is a way of saying Shri, no? It's a respectful way of addressing a person. So we say Srila. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the spiritual master of Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada went to hear his lecture, Prabhupada was not his disciple. And in fact, one friend of Srila Prabhupada inspired him that, there is this saintly person in town, let's go and hear his discourse. So initially, Prabhupada didn't want to go because he had his business. He was running his pharmaceutical business at that time. He was a grihastha. And he's saying that, yes, there are many saintly people who come and go, because India, there are many saintly people who come, no? But then the friend insisted that, no, you must come and meet Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Prabhupada went with his friend, and he goes and he sits down there. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as soon as he sees him, he tells him, he has a group of people in the discourse, but he points out to Srila Prabhupada and specifically tells him that you should go to the West and you should preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world in the English language. So he had the vision to see, because this is a new person. He's just come there, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had the vision to see that, yes, this is the person. No, he was not even his disciple at that time. So it was the very first instruction that he gave to Srila Prabhupada. And 40 years after that instruction, Srila Prabhupada still had that instruction in his heart, that I should fulfill this instruction. And he went there when he was on the verge of 70 years. No? Okay. See, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, dharma, the supreme dharma is that we have to love God. That's all. Loving God means we lovingly engage in devotional service to the Lord. And that loving devotional service must be unmotivated. Only because I love Krishna, I should perform service. I should not think that, oh, I am doing this, so therefore Krishna must give me this. Therefore, Krishna should facilitate something for me. No. That devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Always. Not that today I'm engaging in devotional service, tomorrow I don't feel like, day after tomorrow I don't have the mood, after that I don't have the time, and then, oh, today I feel inspired, so I want to do some service. No. That loving devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. So it doesn't matter which Vaishnava Sampradaya we belong to. No, if any sampradaya that teaches you love of God, that teaches you to engage in loving devotional service in the uninterrupted and unmotivated way, then that is the supreme occupation, that is dharma, and that is what matters. That is what matters. Then doesn't matter whether you're a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, but you have to follow the instructions that are given to you by the preacher of that particular path. That is important, and that is how Srila Prabhupada always preached. Again from the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the demigods and their exalted qualities such as religion, knowledge and renunciation become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So what is the point we are trying to make here is, see, previously we saw the supreme dharma is to engage in the loving devotional service of the Lord in an unmotivated and uninterrupted way. Now, when we do these things, then there is no question of having clashes with others, having conflicts with others, because when we do this, what happens? Then all the good qualities and all the devatas automatically become manifest in the body of that person. So when we are engaging in unalloyed means pure, no, unmotivated, uninterrupted, pure devotional service to the Lord, then all the devatas and all the qualities of the devatas will automatically become manifest in the body of that person. So all these clashes, no, because I'm Hindu or I'm Muslim or I'm Christian and my religion is better than your religion, my God is better than your God, these clashes will not happen because the qualities of the devatas are manifest in the body of the person who is performing uninterrupted pure devotional service. No. So when those such qualities are manifest in such a person, how is he going to have such intercommunal clashes? There is no question of that. And if there are such clashes, it's because those people are not engaging in loving devotional service. That is the problem. So on that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's chapter of the Krishna book. But before we can end, I would like to say a few words because today is the most auspicious appearance day of our founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we know that Srila Prabhupada, he went to the West and single-handedly, nobody can take credit. Nobody can claim any credit to this establishment of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada did it single-handedly. Of course, he had the blessings of his spiritual master. He had the blessings of Krishna because he had full faith. He had full faith in the words of his Guru. He had full faith in Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada is that personality who has created a worldwide home for all of us to live in. Anywhere you go, there is ISKCON. So when once you are within the ISKCON temple, you feel at home, no? Because it's the same arati, same system, same prasad, same japa, same Vaishnava dress, the dhoti, the saris, the tilak. You feel that you are at home, no? So he has created a worldwide home where the whole world can reside. So when Srila Prabhupada went on that boat, it was not a passenger ship. He went on a free ticket that was given to him by Srimati Murarji. And on that ship, on that boat, he had two massive heart attacks. And Prabhupada thought that he is going to pass away on board that ship. See, let's read here. Srila Prabhupada set out for America on 13th August 1965. He got a free ticket to travel to New York from the proprietor of Scindia Steamship Company, Srimati Sumati Morarji. He was the only passenger on board that small weathered cargo ship named Jaladuta. In his possession were a suitcase, an umbrella, a supply of dry cereal, about $7 worth of Indian currency, approximately rupees 40, and several boxes of books. So this is what Prabhupada went with. Practically nothing he had from the material angle of vision. This 40 rupees also that he took, he did not spend. When he came back to India, he had the 40 rupees in his pocket. Still he had it with him. So when he was on board the Jaladuta, he had this dream. In the port of Calcutta on August 13, 1965, carrying only a small suitcase, an umbrella and a bag of dry cereal, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, as he was known at that time, climbed up the steep gangway onto a cargo ship named the Jaladuta. The ensuing journey presented considerable hardship. Srila Prabhupada wrote of some seasickness, and on the 13th day of the voyage, during the passage through the Arabian Sea, he suffered a massive heart attack. He was concerned that he might pass away, but in his uneasy sleep that night, he had a dream, a vision. Lord Krishna appeared. The Lord was in an open boat along with his other incarnations. Krishna was rowing the boat, and the boat was pulling Srila Prabhupada's ship with a rope. Krishna was smiling at Srila Prabhupada and was pulling the ship all the way to America. Srila Prabhupada did not write about this occurrence in his diary, but simply drew a line through those troubled days, declaring that he had passed over a great crisis in the struggle between life and death. Years later, he related these events to his followers. So when Prabhupada went to America, there were only 4 people who went to see him off when he boarded the Jaladuta. No, but 50 years after the establishment of ISKCON, there was this grand celebration in Calcutta where they had invited members from different countries. No, and they had the flags hanging from these different countries. So 125 countries had attended. 125 countries had attended, and the stadium was fully packed. It was done in the Netaji Indoor Stadium, and it was fully packed to capacity. There were people sitting in the passages, in the staircase, and there were several more people outside who wanted to come inside. So this is the photo of that celebration, which was done after 50 years of his maiden voyage to America. So you can see how one person, one pure devotee, can bring about such a big change. When he left, only 4 people went to see him off. But then 50 years later, there were 125 countries there who were participating in that event. It is also described how there were 2 Guinness Book of World Records that were established at that time, because devotees from 106 countries, they got together and they had a yoga session. They performed yoga postures while chanting Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra and the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So they were devotees from 106 countries. So that is a world record. And also there was another world record that they established where most nationalities in a choir. So 105 devotees from 105 countries, they sang the Bengali song Shri Guru Charana Padma in praise of Srila Prabhupada. And that is also another world record that was established on that day. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
The appearance day, it refers to the appearance in America or in India?
No, appearance is the day he was born, his birthday. But I'm just talking about Prabhupada's achievements. So before we end today's session, I just wanted to end today's class, because it's the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, by reciting excerpts from a poem that Prabhupada composed when he reached Boston. Now, before Jaladuta reached New York, it docked in Boston for a short period, and there Prabhupada had his first vision of the Western world. And at that time, Prabhupada wrote a poem. No, so I will just read the poem and then we will end today's class. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible, because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only they will be able to understand your message. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, O Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladota, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18 September 1965. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada's mood is. He is completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. No, he is completely depending on Krishna's mercy. He's not thinking that I will do it. No, he's saying, if you want to make me dance, then make me dance, make me dance, make me dance, oh Lord, as you like. So this is the mood that we need to imbibe. No, completely depend on the mercy of Krishna. So of all that Srila Prabhupada has written, he has written a lot of books, 70 plus books. Of all that Srila Prabhupada has written, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. I have read it so many times and it always touches my heart. So I thought I'd just share this with you. Okay. Do we have any questions or comments?
What is the homework? What is the homework?
I will share it in the group. I'll share the link.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. See you all next week.
Mataji, I
have
have
a
a
nice-
question. I have a question. Can
Yes.
I ask you?
Yes.
So this four different brahmanas, right? Rudra
Sampradayas.
sampradayas.
Yes.
Why all these four are not taking to the one path at the end? Why Brahma's going to Krishna? Brahma sampradayas. It's Brahma sampradaya.
All the sampradayas are taking you to Krishna. They are all bona fide sampradayas. All the sampradayas will take you to Krishna. Their goal is to make you love Krishna. That's all. So the goal is the same.
Rudra sampradaya, that means we follow Shiva, right?
No. Rudra Sampradaya means it's coming from Lord Rudra. It's coming from Lord Shiva. But even Lord Shiva wants you to go to Krishna because he's a Vaishnava himself.
Oh, he's just guiding you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is coming from Rudra. Rudra Sampradaya comes from Rudra, but the goal they will take you to Krishna only. So Kumar Sampradaya also is like that. Shri Sampradaya also is like that, and Brahma Sampradaya also is. Now we belong to Brahma Sampradaya, but Brahma is not taking us to himself. No, Brahma is taking us to Krishna. So it's like that for all the four.
Oh, but as far as I know, the Rudra Sampradaya, it normally meditation and all those things, right? Meditation and Shiva, yoga and meditation, right?
I don't have so much information of what is the recommendation that each sampradaya gives you. That information I do not have. I have not researched it because
Oh,
I made my choice and I researched Brahma Sampradaya. So, but the thing is, what we are very fortunate that we have Prabhupada's books. We have Prabhupada's books. Now, a lot of Shastra has been lost with time. You know, we don't have full access to all the four Vedas, all the information on all the Vedas. That access we do not have anymore. So, what made me join this Sampradaya is Prabhupada's books, because this kind of philosophy you will not get anywhere. We don't have access to that so much in other places because of the influence of Kali Yuga.
oh, thank you. If you can, okay, thanks.
Okay, Lavina, you have your hand raised?
I have a question. According to you said that like four like Rudra what, sorry?
Sampradaya.
Yeah, Sampradaya. And what are the example, like you said Brahma Sampradaya is like ISKCON.
Yeah, ISKCON belongs to the Brahma Sampradaya. Brahma Madhva
Acha.
Gaudiya Sampradaya actually. Gaudiya stands for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Brahma Madhva Madhvacharya. Each Sampradaya has their Acharya. So
Okay.
Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is the Sampradaya that ISKCON belongs to.
And what means how, which example can you give for Rudra Sampradaya and other two, like Lakshmi Sampradaya and
So organizations within the other Sampradayas also I don't know. I have not researched that. I don't know.
okay. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I know only that Sri Sampradaya comes from Goddess Lakshmi, Rudra Sampradaya comes from Lord Shiva, Kumar Sampradaya comes from four Kumaras, and every Sampradaya has their Acharya. Like Ramanujacharya is the Acharya of the Sri Sampradaya. Like that, how
Okay.
for Brahma Sampradaya it's Madhvacharya. Like that, every Sampradaya has their Acharya and their
Acha.
teachings are there. So, if you have to find an organization that follows the teachings of that Acharya to perfection, then you can say that that organization belongs to so and so Sampradaya. Like that.
So that means all the Sampradayas they tell us to follow only, means only Krishna, isn't it? That's
Exactly, yes. Yeah, because there's
okay.
nothing beyond Krishna. If there is any, see, once somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, how can I find my guru? How do I know who's my guru? So Prabhupada said, search for that person who is most attached to Krishna. Because anybody who takes you away from Krishna is not a bona fide guru. Ultimately, see, one country cannot have two presidents. One country cannot have, I mean, we cannot have two gods. We cannot say that my God is better than your God.
Yoga.
I mean, it's absurd, right? But the thing is, not everybody reveals that that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. That pure knowledge, that advanced knowledge, you only come to understand when you come to Krishna consciousness. We are not saying Krishna because we are fanatic. No, the Shastra says it. Lord Shiva said it. Lord Brahma said it. Krishna himself declared it. No other God himself. Lord Shiva never said that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Jesus Christ never said that. Jesus Christ always said that he is the Son of God. Prophet Muhammad always said that he is a servant of God. Bhagavatam describes Lord Shiva as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Shambhu means Lord Shiva. So he is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, means he is the greatest Vaishnava. And Lord Brahma himself has written the Brahma Samhita, 100 chapters, and he's saying Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So he is only saying that Govindam Adi Purusha, like Govinda, Lord Govinda is the Adi Purusha. He is the original personality, right? So it's not blind faith. Brahma has said, Lord Shiva has said, Lord Krishna himself has said, all the great acharyas have said, Arjuna said that in Bhagavad Gita. So there is no contradiction. There is no contradiction.
There's one more question. Like we had homework last week. In that, I studied that Radharani. Oh, no, not Radharani. Mother Lakshmi, the fortune, mother of fortune. She wanted to go for the Ras Leela, but she couldn't. Why is that so?
So that
I
chapter
found it.
describes, no, she wanted to go in the same body that she has as the goddess of fortune.
Ah,
She wants to participate in Rasa Leela as the goddess of fortune.
mm.
But you have to have the
But
body of a gopi because gopis are more advanced than even goddess of fortune. They are more elevated than the goddess of fortune. But she wanted to go in the same body. So therefore, she could not.
okay.
Anything else?
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, the reading is from Bhagavatam chapter 9, Sabri Muni, homework.
Yes, yes. I will share the link in the group.
Okay, all the restriction.
Okay. Anything else?
We'll have exam next week.
I don't know.
Oh,
I will think
okay.
about. I don't know yet.
Okay,
I will
no
let you, if
problem.
there is an exam based on Saubari Muni, I will mention it in the group. Give me 2-3 days
Okay.
time. Let me see how it goes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Koti
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Pranam.
Mataji.
Ankoti Dandavat Pranam to
Thank you, Mataji.
Hello, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Thank you.
Koti
Hare
Koti
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
Krishna Conscious Janmashtami to you.
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.